Okay, today we just want to demo a little bit of how we build the first version of integrations at Cleft. So we always start from the perspective of there is already cloud automation that can build new features inside of our application. And you can see on my screen, we do a lot of our project management inside of GitHub. We're not trying to be like linear, like beautiful project management team. Like we're like barely existing as a company like we started earlier this year. So we're just using the bare bones of things that we already use. And so we've got a list of what people have been requesting here in terms of integrations that they would like to use. And the one that we know hasn't been super requested, but we know would be super powerful is Google Docs, right? So Google Docs earlier this year started um, accepting and rendering markdown text pretty nice. It's not like amazing, but it's like good enough that Cleft's native markdown support is pretty well supported inside of Google Docs. We actually are a Google Workspace team. And so this is like partly us building something for ourselves as well as for you.
Let's step up a second. Say, okay, where does all this come from? This all comes from our users. We've met, 250 people face to face. We're, as Tyler, you already mentioned, less than a couple months out the gate. We've had thousands of people upvote, downvote, talk to us in every which way of all the channels. And this is us bringing everything together into an actionable list that rather than wait till next year, here's how you can get going right away.
Yeah, Google Docs is definitely on the roadmap, but we're not going to wait for that to be like a native integration for us. I think Notion is coming out soon, but some of that stuff is non-trivial to create an integration for. You can bolt things together right now using Zapier, and I want to demonstrate how to do that today. I've got this cloud syncing note that I want to make sure ends up as a Google Doc, right? So I'm going to add this tag called Gdocs. Okay. And I want to invite everybody to be using tags as your trigger for getting things out of Cleft. It's a really nice feature that we added, gosh, a month ago now, where tags are a trigger inside of Zapier to be able to send a note on to some other cloud application. We're going to get into Zapier now, and we will create new Zap. And this is going to be, so for me, I always start with the title because it really helps focus me in terms of how I'm building Zaps. So I start with the Zap and I'm going to say Gdocs tag in Clef creates new doc in Clef inbox folder in Gdocs. Let's see what Copilot does now that we're an official Zapier application. See what they give us just using that title. There we go. Ba-boom. Ba-boom.
Ooh,
Hey, there it is. So
never heard that before. See,
just for simple zaps like this, totally just give it a title of what it is that you want it to do, and then put it into their AI little Copilot. And very often, ding, 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 it will give you the actions that you were hoping to achieve.
stuck for words, just cleft it and
Hey, there it is.
I
Highly
get it all the time.
recommend talking through your Zap with Cleft. In fact, maybe that's something that we can give a whirl here right now.
Yeah, anybody coming into his app is
I will
because
reorder this. Now.
sorry, just for a side piece. A key thing is anyone who's using Zapier has auto copy capability. And Tyler, you actually pull that up?
Yeah. So inside of our settings, you can set it up so that you get automatically to your clipboard anytime you create a new note. It'll give you the mark. Me on when I'm on my Macintosh, I am always a markdown person, and then you can also set that setting specifically differently for your mobile. I'm always a plain text one because I don't know about you, but sometimes I have something complicated to explain in a text message, and I'm terrible at using the software keyboard to complicated thoughts out into a text message. I use Clef to help me. And so I will record my voice saying the difficult thing. Maybe you're like this too, but the blinking cursor syndrome is the pain that I solve with Cleft almost everywhere I go. I'm really grateful for that. I have it set up for plain text in on mobile, and that's really nice. Okay.
And in the same way, for me, it is such a big deal. I think just sharing our own experiences. For me, Cleft is about filtering for the occasion or context I want to be in. Exactly similar to yourself there, where I might want to say, hey, I want to share some with the guys in Slack. And you folks don't need to hear every iteration of me getting a thought together. That's where Clip comes in. We get a lot of requests for things like templates and styles. We already have that built in since day one. When we're setting up Zaps, you're not going to do this every single day. You don't need to template that in your life. But after you've got this set up for Markdown, the next screen maybe to look at is AI preferences and set show custom instructions, and then complete the process.
Yeah, inside of customer instructions, normally I just want bullet points and short sentences, but I know that this note that I'm about to create is specifically as a note to give me a good output in terms of the Zap that I'm going to create for sending a Gdocs tag into Zapier to be created a new document in Gdocs. So I'm going to remove my, I use a clipboard manager. Okay, so this is for not a sponsor, but could be.
Shout out your favorite.
I love Setaps, like library of applications, and my favorite is Paste. Is my favorite clipboard manager. I know Johnny loves Raycast, and they have a nice clipboard manager too that's built into that. There's lots of ways that you can do this, but for me, I like Paste. I even have it set up with a hyper key. Lots of you are used to the Control C, Control V, but I use a small Mac utility called Carabiner that lets you set up special key bindings. The caps lock button on my computer unlocks a whole nother layer of modifier keys. It's like a special modifier key that's like pressing all of the modifier keys at once. So Shift, Control, Option, Command is actually with caps lock for me. And that's what pulls up caps lock V. It pulls up my clipboard manager. And so I love using that. And it's pretty cool little that you can like bolt on to your operating system if you don't yet have that. Probably the most common key combination that I use. Like it's probably even more than spacebar in my usage of computers. I'm also a Raycast user, but I use Raycast just as like a launcher and a couple other little things. But I really like HyperKey.
Just to holler in, I use Paste every day. It's my go-to.
I talked you into using Paste.
Well, you talked me trying it. Paste talked me into using it. And again, not a sponsor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to get in on my referral code to Setapp, please DM me. So, okay. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a cleft inception. So
Yeah, that's yourself.
I'm going to cleft my instructions. I'm about to create a Zap, and I want this to be written with the best content syntax for using Zapier's Copilot, their AI Copilot. Stop recording that, and I'm going to grab the. It's showing obviously like Cleft is showing me the transcript, and that's actually what I want to put in here. So I did not want to listen to that.
Okay. You click the.
I'm just going to grab that, and I'm going to put that into the settings, right? And so now I've got that. This is something that I have a request from the team is I want a save button, right? That confirms used that.
I'm going to add in my 2 cents since we're asking. The really simple one for me is similar. 2 things. 1, bigger. And 2, again, just we've got great big space, so I want to get in there. And I want an option button. So I want to save for 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah. I want to have some different ones.
Just simple, not lots. We're not in the same way we limit our tags. We are trying to be really clear. This is not for everything. The lovely little field book that goes in your pocket and follows you around wherever you go.
Yeah. Okay.
So the update, we have created our custom instructions to talk to Zapier.
So here I am attempting to describe what it is that I'm trying to build with Zap. What I want to create is Zap that is triggered by a tag in Cleft. So a Cleft note gets a new tag called Gdocs, Gdocs. And when I tag it with Gdocs, it will send that note and transcript. I think I'm going to put it together. I'm going to put all the different things, and maybe I'll see if I can attach some audio to that note as well inside of a Cleft note in Google Drive or Gdocs. And it might be the type of thing where I wonder if it'll give me like a place to go in G Drive or Gdocs and then move it into somewhere in G Drive. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so it automatically copied the markdown for me. Drop that straight into here. See what happens. I have no idea. This probably didn't require this, but it was fun to give Cleft a whirl because, like, there's probably more complicated zaps that you might be trying that would actually benefit from that.
Like most things in life, the good things happen when you're in the shower, and that includes zaps and ways of making your life easier.
I'm going to add that in the Gdocs, create document, and file. Sounds good. And we're going to delete that step. Yes, really delete it. Okay. So now, note created. It didn't actually, I want to have it not be note created. I want it to be tags.
Yep.
I'm going to select
That just shouting out the most powerful thing we've added. In addition to the core app, that really opens it up as you're about to show off here.
So you can see here, like there's lots of stuff happening here. And there we go. This one has the tags right here. It has the Gdocs tag already. We'll continue with that one that has the Gdocs tag. Now, I actually want to filter this. If you're not familiar with filtering, I probably should have included that in my description of what I wanted to have happen with the Zap. So what I want to do is I want to take the tags, contains, or contain exactly matches.
Tyler, you're missing a great opportunity here.
Yo,
Hit append and record as you're going to show people. You might have an idea on the go. We're not always creating zaps in front of Zapier all day long for this example, but it applies in life. You can always just add to a note as you're going.
Okay, so I'm adding to this note saying that I want to also have a filter, right? One of the things that I don't like about Zapier's Copilot is that it disappears as soon as you accept anything. And so I'm not actually doing that here. Just appending because Johnny told me to append, but I didn't append. Mostly because I knew that I couldn't retry the Copilot. So now I've appended this. I'm adding that on to the note. Did not append.
I'll put it this way, you might have just pressed the wrong part of it. It's grand. It's no big deal. Again, sorry, the point I'm trying to share there is this will happen. So when I'm working on stuff, I'm like, oh, here's a way I want to try next time. But right now I need to do exactly what you're going to do, which is dial it in Zapier, not necessarily be talking to Cleft to do that.
So just for those of you that are like keyboard shortcut people, pending on the desktop version is best done using visual UI of the plus button over on the sidebar. So this is me retrying the whole bit with pending, and now you can see me being done, and that's going to be added on to the other note below. So you can see we've got a little divider. If you're a markdown nerd like us, right, you'll see that text there, and now it's cutting that off and showing you what's happening.
The last little add-on here, I'm seeing it as I go. And when you're doing this kind of work, you're not going to be switching notes. So Tyler, I'd invite you to close your sidebar on Cleft. And then I'll share the keyboard tour again. But in general, that's where that clicks in. You just append or you press the button in the bottom right, and it just does it automatically.
Yep. So we're going to filter this when we have the Gdocs, but I want to actually bring back the one at. You'll notice right there that we've got Gdocs tag, right? We picked that note in this test data. We're going to be able to see what happens with that. Okay. I like that. So if we need to add on to anything here,
It's just there to click.
We'll press that button. It'll happen. Okay. So we're filtering based on Gdocs, and now let's test it out. This would have continued. Why? Because tags has Gdocs in there, but boom. All right, now we're moving on. Okay, so create a document from text. All right, so we're going to select, we don't have our stuff labeled very well, so I'm going to make sure that I have my Cleft Notes account hooked up. I'm just allowing Zapier to see stuff in Google Drive and make documents there. That's a very common step that kind of freaks people out with the pop-up and the permissions and all that sort of stuff. Don't freak out about that. It's just like when you sign into Google. It's just allowing that app to sign into Google like you would with any other app when you're signing into Google, right? That's what you're doing when you're doing it. Okay, so we're going to create that document from text. Awesome. Document name. Okay, so you'll notice the slash for field map, right? So slash gives us that. You can also press the little plus button here. That's actually what it used to be, but I really like being able to use the keyboard stuff because I don't know, I'm like that. And then start saying, okay, there's my title, boom, and content. We're gonna grab onto that. If you want to use title, I'm gonna put the title in the content too, just for grins. And I'm also going to drop the transcript in there. Tell myself that this is the transcript, just for grins, to include that there. All good. We did it. Which folder am I going to put it in? Oh, look at that. We might not need this step down here, right? In fact, I think that's probably something that I want to do. I've not yet created my Cleft in Gdocs yet, so I'm going to do that.
Can I just ask a question?
Go right ahead.
Just because Google Docs have added some new things in lately. Are you able to assign by section or their tabs? Because what I'm finding is Google Docs have made it, instead of having to create a folder full of items, if you can just add a new tab in, then that gets kind of interesting. And that's only brand new.
I'm going to name this.
Can anyone listening? There's a reason we don't build everything into Cleft, because we know that certain things are just going to work better with the tool you already.
Not only that, but like you're going to want it custom in the first place. So like, why would we build something for everybody that's going to be custom for you anyway? Okay, so now I'm going to change the folder, right? Refresh the result. Cleft inbox, boom, there we go. And we're going to delete this step by Google Drive step. And we're going to continue. And here we go. Test. And let's check it out. Hey, there it is. Ding, 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 ding. And you were talking about tabs. I wonder, let's look inside of the configuration here. Doesn't
Now,
look like...
hang on.
Yeah.
Let me just ask a question. Is that a Zap on its own for us to duplicate it and keep going? Because this works.
Oh, yeah. Like this is just get your Gdocs tagged into Google Drive as a Gdoc.
Send me the link for this Zap, because what I'm doing here on my second screen is I'm updating our docs so that people have access to this as soon as we're finished.
Yeah. So yeah, somebody can have this. Just go right ahead and use it. Right.
Exactly.
I'm creating a template right now. And
this will be a card at the bottom of the Zapier page in features.
Yeah. Okay. So this Zap will take a Cleft note that is tagged with Gdocs and filter any of those tags updated. It will look for and find the Cleft notes that you've tagged as Gdocs and send it to Gdocs while titling the document with your same Cleft title. And then it will also include the title in the text of the Google Doc. It will also put the AI summary in there, and then below a divider, the transcript of your recorded note. And I put it into a specific inbox folder in Google Drive called Cleft Inbox. Okay, and so just to show you live that working, I'm going to tag this with Gdocs. That's going to create a new document right here. And hopefully, oh, there we go. Ding, 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 ding. We've got it. And It also looks like I might have fat fingered a slash into there. So now we're going to test this, publish it, publish. This is V2 minus fat finger. I'm not going to actually include that because people are going to be like, what's that? So, there we go. We're going to call it V2. Create it. And now we're going to drop this in. Should we copy the markdown?
This means you can copy and paste it into your Cleft, so you want to start building it as a template for yourself.
Again, what is with developers and creating like the tiniest text windows possible? Like, what is the deal with you guys? Like, let me see what I'm writing, you know? Later. There we go. And sharing this with Johnny, our little chat. Done.